event in the United States of America.
Or any other affiliated country with WotC.
No.
So
Yeah,
it's
any WotC country.
Yeah.
The Mounties of Canada.
They can't come down here and get you. Speaking of people that are taking advantage of that new not a felony, Nick Cowden over here on the left plays some Jeskai Stoneblade. So we're going to watch a lot of this today, I would bet.
Yes.
And I'm really excited to see what people do.
Yep. You're going to see a few different builds. You've got the control builds with Esper, Splashing Black for Disruption, Thoughtseize, Inquisition of Kozilek. And then you're going to see what Nick has as a Jeskai build. Lightning Bolt, Lightning Helix. He's got a couple copies of Spell Snare. These are going to be cards that are going to really efficiently handle the Stoneforge Mystics we expect to see today. So,
yeah, one of the big cards that's been popping up on a lot of these Stoneforge decks is like your fake Force of Will.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Force of Negation's been in all of these, and everybody's told me you just have to protect your Stoneforge Mystic. If you have a Batter Skull in your hand and your Stoneforge Mystic dies, you look like an idiot. So that's kind of where we're going to be at. Players are shuffling up. Round 1 for the Hall is underway, but Nick and Dane here are finishing up their sideboard. Never mind. Once with Heath, go. Yeah.
Off to the races.
Off to the races. And cracking it fetch down here going to 19 is Dane at the end step. And tell me a little bit about Dane's deck. It got some pretty cool combos going on.
Right. So Dane is on the Bant Soul Herder list that has been popping up recently. Soul Herder, a new card from Modern Horizons that on the end step will blink a creature you control. So exile it, return it to the battlefield. And every time it does so, Soul Herder gets a counter, but Soul Herder is not one for battle usually.
You're not going to be attacking with it.
Unless it's a big boy.
Okay.
Unless a lot of things have been sent to the Shadow Realm, as they'd call it in inferior card games.
Dane's taking his sweet time finding the particular land he'd like to use there. But
looks like a Temple Garden.
Looks like a Temple Garden, and finally getting it over to Nick to shuffle. So then you're blinking stuff that you're in step. What is the exciting thing to blink here?
So we've got a lot of value creatures in these decks. You're going to end up just with a full grip all the time. We've got Icefang Coatl, which draws a card when it comes in. Wall of Blossoms, which draws a card when it comes in. There it is. Yep. Our friend, an 0-4 defender with ETB, draw a card. You've also got Eternal Witness, which when it comes in, you draw a card from your graveyard. Reflector Mage, your opponent gets a card in their hand, but it's one they had on the battlefield. Yeah, so a lot of things that are just going to keep Dane just full of plays. We've got Nick getting a Hallowed Fountain that is in at Dane's end step, followed up with a Sulphur Falls untapped and passing.
And if that doesn't scream I have something going on, I don't know what will to Dane. 19 to 19 here as they pass it back over for Dane's third turn coming up. Dane's a big fan of putting the hand down when he goes to do things. What's your take on that?
I'm in Dane's camp here.
You put your hand down to do things?
I'll usually put my hand down on my opponent's turn.
Gotcha. Okay. Not a flicker, because you got Nick the Flicker over here.
Right.
That's what they call him on the street. Nick the Flicker Cowden.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Right. Well, we'll find out what sort of names chat is going to call Nick Cowden.
Our producers told us we have bad jokes already. I disagree.
Great. Great.
Nick the Flicker would not appreciate you thinking his nickname is a bad joke. So,
right. Worked hard for that nickname. All right, Dane is going to put in the namesake Soul Herder.
And there we go.
Yep, currently a 1/1. And it will continue to grow as things go to exile.
So this is a pretty sweet thing here with Dane's going to, but it's not going to last long. So
right, yep.
Lightning Bolt's going to take that down.
Dane was basically just putting something down for the Slaughter into 2 open mana out of a Jeskai deck.
It's an interesting decision, especially given that is kind of what I imagine is the crux of the deck.
Right.
If you get all your Soul Holders taken away, kind of in a tough spot.
Right. Dane could possibly just have a hand that has, some of his value spells or interaction. You've got 4 copies of Ephemerate, which is going to blink a creature, and then on your next upkeep, blink a creature again. So that may not be something he wants to waste on his Wall of Blossoms.
That's a great point. And then Nick is kind of... Did he pass? Did Nick pass with 2 mana?
Yep.
Oh, wow. 2-laner go.
For him.
Got a coil coming down.
Yep. Coiling Oracle, one of my favorite cards from the original Dissension set out of the Ravnica block. When it enters, You reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land, you put it on the battlefield. Otherwise, you put it into your hand. So no matter what, you are getting a good deal out of this 1/1. I believe it is an elf snake wizard.
Ooh, wow, let's find
Elf
out.
snake wizard,
Yeah.
elf snake druid. It's he's a
All right,
millennial.
what's your final answer here before we pull it up on Gather? What's your final?
Elf snake druid.
Elf snake druid.
He's
All right.
he's a millennial. Works many jobs.
Snake elf druid.
Snake elf
But
druid. Okay.
I'll give you the credit there. It's tough to do, and
Yep.
he's gonna go down there.
Elf
So.
snake wizard lizard. No, I'm thinking of Frilled Mystic. You need to combine Frilled Mystic and Coiling Oracle. Oh my! Hold on, I need to take off this suit jacket.
You just got hot thinking about the counter spell attached to Coiling Oracle. Yeah, looks like Nick did find his third land, Flooded Strand, passed it back. 3 mana tapped here for Dane. Life total still relatively high at the 19 to 19, but this is I think this is kind of how Nick would like to draw it up. Honestly, if you keep hitting his land drops, keep drawing cards, keep passing.
Right. Yeah, the only thing that could be scary for Nick here is really his game plan so far seems to be not really committing to the board, but just trading resources 1 for 1. As long as he's letting things get onto the battlefield, like I said, Dane's deck is a lot of just putting things in that are going to get him more cards in hand. So the 1 for 1 trade is only going to work as long as Nick can keep up on cards in hand.
Yeah, and then you see there that Nick did fetch down to 18 to get an island out, and Logic not the soul herder, so Nick is not going to fall behind to that, and there will be no Wall of Blossom blinking,
right?
Which is, like you said, just something Nick needs to avoid and keep the board clear like you were talking about. So Nick drew passed back, it looks like, so stuck on 3 lands again. 4th land coming down here for Dane, and we'll see what he has in store this turn. Nick Cowden top-8'd the last Mythic Invitational qualifier here at Comic Town, and Eternal Witness, that's a pretty good pickup.
Ooh, yep. So he gets Dane gets to get something back from the graveyard.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, yeah. Eternal Witness not going to hit the battlefield. Instead,
actually lacks logic for him. Yeah.
Yeah. Eternal Witness was going on some rant, and someone Facebook commented and been like, "You know what?
Yeah.
Where's your logic?
Yeah.
Where's your proof?"
It's like one of the Kanye memes where he was rubbing his forehead. And that's Nick to Dane right now.
Right.
Like, what are you doing here,
yeah.
guy? Nick did find land 4.
Yeah. That's very good. Now he has access to, I believe he may be running some copies of Cryptic.
He's got a couple copies of Cryptic.
3 Cryptics, a couple Jaces, so any of those are fair game. He is fetching on his turn, which may imply a sorcery speed play. And at 4 mana, that could be a Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Falling all the way down to 15 here after the shock. Stoneforge Mystic going to leave up mana to protect it.
Yep.
I like this a lot from Nick. Let's see what he gets here. 15 to 19. Batter Skull is what he gets. And we're just going to get our beat on. Is Nick Cowden.
Yeah. Yep. Dane's life total is going to slowly or quickly dwindle. 4 damage is a lot.
What way does Dane have to interact with this, if anything? I mean, can Ewit the Stoneforge Mystic, I guess? Or, I'm sorry, not Ewit. Reflector Mage, the Stoneforge Mystic?
Yeah, so he's got a couple things that can interact here. He's got a Reflector Mage. That's going to be a 2/3 that will bounce the Stoneforge to Nick's hand, and he won't be able to cast any Stoneforge Mystics his next turn. He's got Deputy of Detention, which is if you know
Path to Exile, as we see, actually goes down, so that's easy enough. But yeah, so he had a couple ways to deal with it, and Nick's 2 mana open actually didn't really have a whole lot going on.
Yep.
So
we'll see what Nick has, though. You know, this isn't terrible. Nick really cares about having more cards in his hand, and the Stoneforge was able to bring him a. We've got a Time Warp out of Dane. So he may have used the Path to Exile to see if there were any counter spells in Nick's hand, and when Nick let the path resolve, Dane may have thought this is the time, but no.
Force of Negation, going to exile a card and counter that non-creature spell. So that's a pretty good line there from Nick. I like that a lot. You know, just recognizing what's important and what's not, knowing what his opponent's playing, and he's just going to get to resolve a germ here.
Right.
So a big germ.
Big old germ.
It's like pneumonia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pneumonia, one of the best germs we've got.
One of the best germs we've got. Passing it back. Get a 4/4 against a Wall Blossom. That's not enough.
Yep. Oh, and Dane just has a Noble Hierarch. Says go. So that Batter Skull is going to get in the red zone for 4 damage.
Beat you. I'll go to 19. You go to 11, says Nick Cowden. And, or 15, rather. I can't do math.
No, yeah, Nick's going up to
Nick's going to 19. Yeah, geez. And his opponent is falling to
I believe 11. Or did he take 4 down to 15?
Took 4 down to 15.
Okay.
Yep, goodness.
All right.
I'm all out of sorts. Math's hard,
No,
magic's
that's
hard.
me, man. You're on top of it.
Oh, thank you. That's
Oh.
so kind of you to say.
You're just the best. I love streaming with you.
Oh, I'm having a great day.
All right. Well, let's talk about Ice Fang Coatl, my true love.
And how it gets spell snared.
Oh yeah, just
So,
spell snared
Just
immediately.
don't even talk to me about it because it's gone.
Right.
It got caught in the trap outside and
Melted it.
melted it. And now Nick's got a good flow of lands. He can play multiple spells a turn, and I think he's pretty far ahead here.
Yep.
Ball of Blossoms is not the strongest play.
Nope. Yeah. Nick is really just letting Dane make these low impact plays while he just swings in with a 4/4 Vigilance Lifelinker Germ Pneumonia. Actually, that Germ is a Pokemon.
Yeah,
Looks like Umbreon.
Those aren't legal in Magic, from my understanding. But, our judges are kind of busy today. So we're going to chump block here. And
Ooh, Ephemerate.
Ephemerate.
So we're going to see this card for the first time out of Dane's deck. That is going to exile Wall of Blossoms, removing it from combat, and then it will return to the battlefield.
But Cryptic You, says Nick Cowden.
Yeah, so Cowden recognizes that Ephemerate may just get Dane too much value, not only blocking the Batterskull, but drawing potentially 2 cards because it has rebound.
And so Nick now actually gets the upper hand, drawing a card of his own, countering the spell, and still gets to gain 4 life, going up to 23.
Yep, and that Ephemerate will not rebound because it did not resolve. So Nick's going to go back to his turn after Dane does not have a play. One thing we need to watch out from Dane, though, is Collected Company. Nick is going to stay at 19 because there was no combat damage dealt.
There was. He hit the Wall Blossom because we counted the Ephemerate.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
And that's Big Fairy.
Yep.
So this game is pretty out of hand at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I think, Collected Company is still pretty good out because it can just generate some value and catch you back up. But
that is it. Resolves.
He's going to 4 here. No block this time, so his Nick's going to go up to 27 and knock Dane down to 11.
Yeah, Dane really wants to keep any top decks alive, which includes Ephemerate, and Noble Hierarch, not the best to Ephemerate. So he's going to see if he can find anything off of more Wall of Blossoms triggers. All right, Nick has an opt-in to turn.
And this is just really where Nick shines here. Where Opt shines. Late in the game, lots to do. Dane thinks he has a response, and I think it's going to be the company we talked about.
Yep. So while Nick has 1 fewer card in hand, Dane's going to take the chance that none of those cards are counter magic and try to resolve this Collected Company. He's going to look at the top 6 cards of his library, find 2 creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or less, and slap an Ice Fang Coatl and Coiling Oracle onto the battlefield.
Both of those are decent cards, pretty low impact where we're at, but they buy him time.
Yeah, 4 mana, draw 2 cards basically, get 2 bodies on the field. Pretty good for Dane.
Yeah, definitely good for Dane. This is what you need to do to start climbing back.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna he still has a tough road to hoe, as they say. But
still got that Teferi on the field in a 4/4. Yep, pathing the Ice Fang Coatl. No death touching the Germ. No antibodies right now.
And Nick's actually almost at a place where he could just be bouncing his Batterskull and playing things, so that we're getting to the point where we're going to go up with the elevator on Teferi, of course, and keep drawing cards, just keep beating with the Batterskull.
Yeah. It's 2019. There's an opt from Nick. He's going to find some more plays. He knows exactly what he wants to do right now, which is just keep Dane from climbing back into the game. So opt's going to find him that. In 2019, we're going to talk about Batterskull a little bit. So they gave this card Vigilance, and then an ability that if it didn't have Vigilance would give it Vigilance, which is bouncing it and they're even playing it. So pretty interesting decision there.
Right. What? We're going to give it 2 instances of this. I don't honestly know what they were thinking.
Yeah. Living Weapon, it was a new mechanic at the time, probably trying to explore the design space, and I think bouncing it is definitely an interesting way to do that. But they really just kind of put all their experiments, all their germs in one test tube.
I was gonna say literally word for word. I was gonna say petri dish,
yeah.
But that's a good joke.
Yeah,
that's a good joke.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, well,
love streaming with you, Jordan.
See, the Collected Company coming down here. Eternal Witness is going to be the pickup.
Ooh,
that's a good pickup.
Yeah, if you've ever collected companies into Eternal Witness, it's a great feeling because when Eternal Witness enters, you can target the Collected Company and get that back to your hand.
There's a Time Warp in the graveyard, so I don't know what he picked up, but that would have been a good one. He could have also just picked up the collected company, I guess, if he thought, like you said, if he thought he was too far behind. But
yeah, see if Dane can assemble the loop that the Bant Soul Herder uses to finish the game out, which is there's Sword of Fire and Ice from Nick Cowden.
So that'll certainly be a problem that Nick has to figure out.
Yep, so now he's got a sword out. It is an equip 2, and when a creature that is equipped by Sword of Fire and Ice does combat damage, it is going to deal 2 damage to any target and draw a card. So any hit that Nick makes here, it's not looking likely because of how many blockers Dane has, but if Nick is able to connect, he will be getting a lot of value out of it.
Be able to pick off a lot of things. And it looks like that germ does now have a Sword of Fire and Ice as well. So it's like when you get pneumonia and then you find out, you know what, I have strep too.
Yep.
And it's just getting really out of hand here for Dane. But like you said, a lot of blockers, lots of things to do. The Dutch Touch thing is going to make Nick have to bounce it if nothing else happens.
Right.
But there's still just this Teferi we have to talk about.
Oh, yeah. So Teferi's just going to get Nick a card and 2 extra mana every turn. And especially if Nick's going to start getting in with Celestial Colonnade, it's going to be big. Now with protection from blue, the only options Dane has to block are the Noble Hierarch and the Eternal Witness. Oh, here's Deputy of Detention from Dane. So we'll see if that survives the stack.
And Teferi is going to get arrested.
Oh,
so Teferi found out that, our deputy found out that he was playing Stoneforge Mystics, and he thought they were illegal still. Right. So he came back and Teferi had to take you to jail. But he hasn't caught up yet.
Yeah. Deputy, not the latest on the news. Not quite up to date. So
Teferi's in jail. Yep.
Now we've got this Batterskull, which with protection from blue and red can only be blocked by Dane's Noble Hierarch and Eternal Witness. Dane probably wants to keep the combo alive with the Eternal Witness and Time Warp, so combat's about to get tricky for Dane. So we'll see what Dane wants to do at this turn now that he's turned Nick's card advantage engine offline with Teferi.
And actually, we talked about how Dane needed to kind of start turning the corner there. It looks like Nick is going to go ahead and take 1 and fall down to 26 with the attack there. But if we're attacking, that's got to be good for Dane.
Yeah.
It's got to feel good to be able to attack.
Yeah, just 1 damage at a time. Nick's got a very scary battlefield. Now a Celestial Colonnade, now that there's no Death Toucher to block it. Nick's able to get that 4/4 Flying Vigilance, prot blue, prot red.
And beat you for a 6-ball.
Yeah.
So,
6 damage. Dane is going to respond with what looks like a Collected Company.
It's probably what he picked up there.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like a Collected Company. Hoping to find another one,
yeah.
I guess. Another ice.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Ice Fang Qualifier.
Yeah. And he finds Nibble. Oh, no, he didn't.
Choosing some
Ewit.
top 6. Ooh.
And imagine having those 2 cards and almost choosing Noble Hierarch.
Yeah, right. Ewit maybe looked like a land there, or another Noble Hierarch. We'll see.
Yep. But, Celestial Colonnade with Plur Blue. Path to Exile, though, not Pro Blue.
Yeah, so Nick, card advantage engine is offline. He's got this, impressive Germ token, but Dane is just clawing his way back into here. He got 2 cards off of that Collected Company. Like I said, all of his hits, all of his creatures in this deck are going to put more cards in Dane's hand. So there's an Ephemerate out from Dane. It's going to blink a creature. Looks like the Eternal Witness. This is maybe where we start to see Dane dig for Soul Herder. Oh, he gets back Path to Exile from the graveyard. So maybe he's starting to manage Nick's board. Dane's starting to play control here.
And we're going to rebound here. What's our rebound target going to be? You don't draw the Ephemerate. And let's read this again. Nick says,
yeah, Dane gets to choose anything on the battlefield. It's going to exile and come back in. Nick is in a scary spot.
Yeah, for a guy that we thought was pretty far ahead a little bit ago, Dane's deck did the thing that it's trying to do and grinded and turned the corner.
Yeah.
And no amount of artifacts or germs or anything in the world can take care of these X ones.
Yeah.
These are just little 1/1s that could out of Dane.
Yeah. Batterskull does seem like it has a lot of keywords. Trample's not one of those keywords. Not very good at getting damage through when your opponent has, a wild manner of snakes and Eternal Witnesses.
Yeah, real Jack Hanna over here is Dane, but
Oh yeah,
yeah,
really representing Columbus. Love for snakes.
yeah, and and Nick from the Cleveland area.
Just
With
otters.
germs, lots of germs.
Yep,
So,
lots of germs
lots of
from
germs
Cleveland.
from Cleveland. Yeah, but the otter playmat, it's endearing.
It is endearing.
It's,
Yep.
so I'm gonna actually go out there and try to buy it off of him before the day's over. So it's adorable. My wife loves otters.
Oh, okay.
I have to get it.
Oh, Star City fortunately has the swath of otters. I have an otter spell playmat from them.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yep.
I like that one.
Yep.
I like that one. Their whole creature collection is actually really good.
Yep.
But
enough of our Star City advertising.
Yeah, right. Imagine doing free advertising for a company.
I know.
Dane here trying to figure out what his turn's going to look like.
He probably just has a suite of options right now.
And I think most of them start with just attacking with the team.
Yep.
Like you have a path to exile for the Celestial Colonnade. Your opponent's not bouncing and attacking with Batter Skull this turn. Nick looks like he only has one card in his hand.
Yeah, this is a very scary spot for Nick. We'll see if he can.
Dane will fetch down to 10.
Yep. See if Nick can get back into this.
But
looking at this deck list, I don't believe there are any main board sweepers. No. He's relying on Lightning Bolt, Lightning Helix, and Path to Exile to manage the board here. And if all of his creatures are drawing, more creatures, that's not quite going to get the job done.
Pretty tough to do, yeah. I know we spent 2 Lightning Bolts, and then so there are 2 Helixes and a Lightning Bolt left in the deck. So 3 ways to deal with creatures. I mean, if you get the Deputy Detention off the board and get your Teferi back running, maybe we're in a good spot. But there's a lot of different ways with the Ephemerate that you can that can be end up putting a blowout for you. So I'm not envious of Nick's position, that's for sure.
No.
You're the control deck. Your opponent has more cards and a bunch of creatures.
Yeah, Nick really looking for a way to close the game here. I think it's going to take Jace the Mind Sculptor to start generating more card advantage, or another Teferi. Looks like Nick only has the one Teferi, so it's just looking for Jace right now to get multiple cards back into his hand. But those aren't going to survive the board very long. We see a Renegade Rallier from Dane, one of my favorite cards.
I've played against you having a Renegade Rally in your hand, either in cube or draft or something.
Oh,
and
sure.
It's just a good card.
Yeah.
It's just efficient. It's going to do what it needs to do here. And honestly, I think anything that costs mana out of Dane is going to be enough to kind of keep carrying this.
Yeah. So Renegade Rallier, we'll see what it gets back. I don't know if it already got back an Ice Fang Coatl. Looks like probably a Coatl or a Coatling Oracle. So we're going to see an attack from Dane with an Eternal Witness.
That's it, huh? Going to knock him down to 24.
All right. So Nick's down to 24. Dane just turning the screw. Let's see what Nick has here. See if he found one of those card advantage engines that he needs to pry himself out of the spot. Obviously, an attack with the Celestial Colonnade is going to be a little dicey with Dane's army of death-touching snakes.
Stoneforge Mystic. What's he get here? We have the Batter Skull and the Sophie on board.
Yep, those are it.
That's it. So nice 1/2.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess
now he does have access to bouncing the Batter Skull and putting it back onto play. So we'll see if those small increments of advantage will be good right now. Obviously, he wants these against a deck that's grinding so much. He's trying to make it. Oh, there's a Collector Company
number
again.
3. Yeah, and he keeps bouncing these.
It could be the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same. We can't see the graveyard, obviously, but there's Soul
Nick
Herder, and get me out of here, says Nick Cowden.
Yep.
So we are going to take a quick break while these guys sideboard, and we're going to be right back with you here. Stay tuned. 30 seconds or less, I would imagine.
Yep.
We'll be right back.
Yep.
All right, we are back here for, looks like the players are shuffling up for game 2. Christian, what kind of sideboard do you think we're going to see here out of these guys?
So obviously the 1-for-1 plan for Nick isn't going to be great. I think he's going to keep the permission because he doesn't want, Dane's powerhouse spells to hit the field. He's going to try and aim for the collected companies, the value creatures on the stack. He doesn't want to let resolve. So what I expect to come out are going to be maybe some of the spot removal. Still wants to manage some of the combo pieces that Dane has, but the spot removal plan probably isn't going to be great against Dane's army of 2-for-1s. So out of the sideboard, we could see Monastery Mentor come out from Nick. That would be great to see. Sort of a way to go around Dane's large battlefield.
See him go as wide as Dane can, right?
Right, yeah. You saw Dane's field at the last game. But Dane probably doesn't have many ways to manage that, and he might even be boarding some out. So we could see Mentor be a good option here.
Do you like Dovin's Veto in a matchup like this?
I do not.
No? You don't like against the companies or the time warps or anything like that?
No. Nick's regular permission is probably going to serve those pretty well. Nick does have Snapcaster Mage in his deck. We didn't see that game 1, but Nick's going to get a lot of mileage out of those counterspells. So I don't expect Dovin's Veto specifically to come in. Supreme Verdict, slam dunk.
Sure.
I would take that card, and as the altitude just reaches terminal velocity, Nick's going to slam that card into his deck from the sideboard. We could see Vendilion Click come in. I wouldn't be surprised. Managing Dane's hand is an option for Nick if he puts in Vendilion Click. There's also a clock against everything that's not Ice Coatl. Should that be good? Keranos, God of Storms. This game is expected to go long. Keranos is a card I could see coming in from Nick. So,
I mean, imagine if you had a Supreme Verdict or a Keranos in that last game. The game's completely different.
Right.
Looks like both players are shuffling each other's decks, so we're about to get started here. Well, he forgot some cards that look like Dane did, so...
Yep, that's not going to work.
You shuffle those, and you don't get to keep those. I know they were probably pretty good, but you do have to put those back with the rest of them.
All right. We see Dane present. Nick's going to give that a cut.
A good old shuffle there.
Get all those collected companies spread out.
Yeah, right. Put those somewhere, or hopefully they end up somewhere that you'll never have to deal with them.
Yeah.
But and both players, it looks like they kept their 7s.
Could be just examining them, but we'll see. Nick is going to have the first play here if both players decide to keep. Probably going to see a land. It's a good way to start a Magic game.
Dane is reshuffling. It looks like he's going to go down to 6 here. And we are messing with the new mulligan system in this modern. This is the first modern tournament I've seen live that has been impacted by this. So I'm pretty excited to see kind of how that plays, especially in a deck like this. I think it benefits a ton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dane doesn't really mind going down on cards. He's got, like we said, a lot of 2-for-1s. He's not going to be too perturbed by having to go down on cards. Once he finds those Coiling Oracles and Ice Coatls and Eternal Witnesses, he'll be able to stay up on cards. So that's not a particular concern for Dane.
It looks like he did decide to keep. He's debating what card to put on bottom, kind of waffling back and forth between one or two. Maybe he's found one. He did. So look at that. Floated Strand go, says Nick Cowden. And we're off.
Flooded Strand from Dane. This is the flavor of the game, Flooded Strands.
Flooded Strands. 19 life points, Nick Cowden, and I bet you we're going to see the same amount of Dane here in a second. Hopefully Nick has a little bit more than 2 lands to start this game, but he does. 2 mana play coming in. Stonefort, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'd take her to a dance. Yeah, I'd invite her to prom.
Yeah.
She seems like she'd be fun, except for all the germs she brings.
Yep, all the germs.
But
yeah, she's gonna get everybody else at the dance sick. Came with a cold.
That's rude.
Yep.
It's
rude.
Like if you're sick, just stay home.
Yep.
Think about everybody else, not yourself for once.
Yeah.
Temple Garden was the play here for Dane, so he's going to go to 19 and try to flush out what.
Yeah. So Dane's options here. Path to Exile, not a great answer to Stonefort Mystic.
No, it's really not.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be one of the more important things we see from this season as Stoneforge Mystic enters play is you really want to be on a bolt, push, lightning helix plan, and decks that rely on Path to Exile to get rid of creatures, you're going to have a bad time with Stoneforge Mystic because If you wait for their upkeep to path, which is normally how you play that card, your opponent's going to get another land in play and untap with it.
Yeah, it's
So-
not exactly where you want to be. And we did just see Coiling Oracle actually find a collector company. So
Yeah,
the Nick Cowden has to be quivering his boots a little bit,
that is a heater.
and he's going to activate his Stoneforge Mystic and put into play the Batter Skull that he got. Resolves it. I'll make a Germ. I'm going to get your Coiling Oracle sick. Now, flavor check. Can a snake, wizard, elf get sick?
I believe it can.
Okay.
You know, the Simic, when they do their experiments, it could really mess with your immune system, right?
That's fair. That's a good point. Yeah.
This is a new breed, new species. So if, you know, they haven't been developing, this is the alpha, right? This is the prototype. Still going to be a lot of bugs. Coiling Oracle, if he chooses to block, is about to send a bug report.
He's about to send a bug report. Nick did shock fetch at the end of his turn, go down to 18. He's battling for 5 here. He's going to gain 4, go up to 22 life points, and then he's going to send Dane to
23.
He actually lost 1 from fetching.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yep, up to 24.
Up to 22.
I'll let you handle the numbers.
So 22.
Yep.
And down to 14 goes Dane. And
yeah, Coiling Oracle, not
jumping in the way.
no. You know, weekend's coming up, doesn't want to get sick.
Right. It's just like, you know what, man? Like, if you're not going to leave, I'm going to go home. And this is actually, I think, the start Nick kind of needed here.
Mm-hmm.
Put some pressure on. Don't
Yes.
let Dane do the things he's doing here. Looks like, did we see a fetch there from Dane, or was that?
I believe that's a fetch.
It was a fetch guy. I thought it came from his deck. 13 is Dane's life total. Nick giving the half cut there.
Yeah, so probably going to see, Soul Herder here. Ooh. See if that Soul Herder hits the field. Nick, all right, just going to bolt the Soul Herder.
Bolt you.
Lets it resolve. Yeah, we did see a Logic Knot in Nick's hands. Let that slip a little bit, but, you know, Dane's not long for this world with that 4/4 Germ on the field.
He's going to need another Miracle Collector Company. Like you said, we know about the Logic Knot.
Mm-hmm.
So beat for 5 here again, but Coiling Oracle is going to jump in the way. So Nick's going to go up to 26. Dane's going to fall down to 12.
Nope, looks like that Coiling Oracle did it.
Yeah, he jumped right in front of the Batter Skull.
Okay.
And
just took 1 from the Stoneforge.
yeah, I guess if you need to not die, that's a way to do it.
Oh, there's Knight of
Autumn.
Autumn. All right.
But Logic Not you.
Yep. Knight of Autumn, very cool card for Dane to have. When you can answer the equipment directly, that mitigates some of the power of, you know, the point of equipment, which is if they stick around, they're going to go on some kind of creature.
Nick's going to end the turn, fetch and shock, go down to 23 here. There is 16 minutes left in the round, but I think these guys are going to have a bit of an extension. Upstairs you with the Lightning Helix. Sends you to 9. I'll go to 26, says Nick Cowden.
Yeah, Nick really just trying to finish this game as quickly as he can.
Untap here. I'm going to 5 you probably again. Send you to 4. And let's see what the... Then again, I mean, a sort of land, sort of Fire and Ice does it.
Yeah. Yep, Dana already down to 4.
Yep, there we go.
There's sort of Fire and Ice. Oh, boy.
6 you, 8 you, you're dead.
Yep.
Let's just... Well, actually, he's going to fall to 1, I think, at the end of this.
Yeah, that's right. He goes from 9, takes 8, down to 1 life.
Interestingly enough, he could have just played Sword of Fire and Ice and equipped it to like the Stoneforge Mystic and done all of the things.
Nick wants to get the extra mana. Just wants to keep... Oh.
No, he could have killed him.
I see.
Yeah, he was tapped out. Yeah,
we'll see.
Could have been played around Force of Negation, I guess.
Right.
Yep.
Smart. Force of Negation is a card that some of these Soul Herder decks play.
Nick turns on attacks. What do we have here?
Here's that Collected Company. No.
Mana leak.
No.
Do you have any other plays, sir?
Hey, there's that Force of Negation we talked about. Ooh.
Wow, that was...
Nick really rewarded.
Back. Yeah.
Nick really rewarded for playing around that Force of Negation because we saw from Dane.
I know
we're moving to Game 3.
Yeah, I know Nick Cowden's a better Magic player than me, and I just saw why right there. That was really fun to watch. Putting your opponent to 1 is just as good, and Nick having the answers there. And Nick not wasting any time. There's Nick's dice. Look at some good dice.
Yeah,
look at that. Germ's really good. What Pokemon did you say that was?
That is Umbreon.
Umbreon, okay. I'm going to judge Dane for his deck box choice.
This is not an earthquake, ladies and gentlemen. Just adjusting something.
Yeah, we get one of those once every 30 years in Ohio. It would be unlucky today.
I've never felt one.
Yeah, there was one. it was like an earthquake, as in like it was as bad as like when I bump into the counter and a glass falls
Sure.
off. Yeah,
Okay.
Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, but
Okay.
no, we actually get a really good look at the piranhas and the otters here.
Yeah. If you're an otter fan, this is the time for you. You tuned into the right stream.
You should favorite and follow and subscribe to the stream because there's a lot of otters.
Yep.
And if Nick runs back like he did last time, we're going to see a lot more of the otter playmat. Would be my guess.
And next time I may enter the ring, get to see otter spell as well.
There you go.
If we play against Nick, otter mirror.
It's just going to be an otter mirror. I don't know who I take in the otter mirror. Land go from both players. Dane falls down to 19. Who should I take?
Thank you for not commenting. There's a correct answer there. It is not me.
Yeah, I think the correct answer is Nick, but I like you. I love commentating.
Oh, gosh, golly. Gosh, golly.
Going to 19, finding the Temple Garden. Nick's going to pass it back. Nick understands that we're short on time.
Yep.
And he wants to get this on with. Game 1 did take a long time. Game 2 took 0 time, though.
Yep.
Coiling Oracle. And found looks like a Wall of Blossom.
Okay.
What did you think it was?
I thought it was another Coiling Oracle and Ice Fang Coatl.
So same vein of card, yeah.
I wouldn't expect Dane to keep the Wall of Blossoms in, but I could be wrong. Could be worse cards. All right, so Nick's going to fetch up the Sacred Foundry down to 19 on Dane's end step, play an Island, play a Stoneforge Mystic. This is how Nick's get a blistering fast start.
Going to go to 19 here, and I wouldn't be surprised if Nick had a Force Negation in his hand if he's just running this out there like this. What else can you ask for if you're Nick Cowden?
Right. Batterskull is here. Dane does not have a favorable way to interact with Stoneforge Mystic like we discussed before. So either Nick's getting an extra land here or he's getting Batterskull. Either one of those is great. So we'll see what this is from Dane. Blue-green for...
That is the Wall of Blossoms. Yeah, right. Interesting card to leave in.
Yeah.
Doesn't block particularly well, but I guess it is a combo piece theoretically, or an engine piece.
It is an engine piece, yep.
Nick is going to just get to untap here and probably going to put a Batterskull on the play at the end of the turn.
Pass to Dane.
Everybody knows what's about to happen here, but can Dane do anything about it? And, I mean, winning versus losing in round 1 of any tournament, particularly a PTQ,
right,
or a Mythic Championship qualifier, is just so pivotal. Both of these players... whole weekend will be set based on this match right here,
It's been a good one.
Right. It has been a good one. The loser's got to be thinking about lunch. The winner's got to be thinking about winning the tournament.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I know that's where mine goes when I start out a tournament.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, lose round 1 of any tournament, you just have to kind of be pretty nervous about the weekend.
All right. Looks like Dane's fetching up a snow-covered forest, which is going to bring him down to 18.
A lot of snow-covered lands in the room today. I think...
the Modern Horizon set brought some... there's the Path to Exile. Oh, this feels so bad.
Not where you want to be if you're Dane. Makes you honestly wonder the line there.
I mean, that Stoneforge... See, it is only something pathable, I believe, when it is
summoning
not active.
Yeah.
Summoning sick.
Yeah. But Nick just gets to get another land. At the cost of getting a land, Nick gets a Batterskull.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Downside of getting that Batterskull out, he gets a land.
Yeah.
So,
what a trade.
Yeah. Dane passes after pathing the Stoneforge Mystic. Nick's going to make his follow-up play. See what this is. Probably just a bash in.
Yeah. Attack you. 2-mana play coming down here. Flash in, I think. Yep. And
does not have Death Touch currently. He needs 3 other snow-covered permanents, and it looks like Dane just has the 2 basics. So that is currently just a 1/1 flash flyer.
And it looks like Dane is counting right now, actually. And besides, I'm not even blocking with it. Block. Yep. Nick's going to go up to 23.
Yep. All right, so follow-up play from Nick, a Monastery Mentor.
I love this Magic card.
Oh, yeah.
I am so excited. Good call. I'm bringing it in.
Yep. So every time Nick casts a non-creature spell now, he's going to get a 1/1 prowess token with, we have a judge call at the table. So,
trying to decide. Looks like they're pointing out Monastery Mentor. Nick, from watching this, I don't know what happened. We're trying to get a good idea what happened.
So Nick's cards are in Japanese.
Oh, so he's just trying to get an Oracle reading, most likely, yeah. Nick is a big fan, and you can see the Oracle reading coming down here. And we'll read that to you as well. But
Yep,
Prowess.
every time Monastery Mentor is gonna, or every time Nick casts a non-creature spell, Monastery Mentor is gonna make a 1/1 monk token with prowess. Monastery Mentor itself has prowess, so whenever Nick casts a non-creature spell, these monks are gonna learn a lot.
They learn chi and they start fighting you,
That's right.
and it gets out of hand very quickly.
And then at the end of turn, they forget it.
Right? Like goldfish.
Yeah.
You know, they're like goldfish.
Monks very wise. A little bit of goldfish brain.
But they are many, you know, so
Yeah.
that's
Nick's about to have a battlefield here.
you can see exactly what happened there at the bottom of your screen.
Knight of Autumn.
Knight of Autumn going to come in and kill the Battle Skull, which is going to kill the germ.
Yep.
So,
Let's see what happens here.
So to Fire and Ice, make a guy. I will make a monk. This is
we love to see monk tokens.
I'm in love with it. This Monastery Mentor is one of my favorite cards in Modern.
Looks like a Ho-Oh maybe for that monk token.
And we're going to equip here. Currently a 3/3, now 5/5 is the Monastery Mentor, and we're going to battle. What do you have for me, sir? Probably blocking with a Wall of Blossom.
Yep, Ice Lane Quaddle cannot block here. Protected from blue. Coiling Oracle is going to hit the bin.
Take 5, say go. Does Nick Cowden, or doesn't take 5, the Wall of Blossom may eat the 5. So still 23 to 18. Looks like we got a land there from Dane. 3-mana spell. It's got to be a good one.
Yep. Soul Herder. So that could blink the Knight of Autumn.
Yep, and could take care of your Sophie there.
Yeah, but Nick's still got the Monastery Mentor and a monk token.
And that's what he does.
That happens. Soul Herder going to get a +1/+1 counter because a creature entered exile. The Knight of Autumn. And then came back. Got better. All right, we're going to see a 4/5 mana play. 4/5. Teferi, Hero
make a
of
guy. Yeah, this is.
So Nick's now got a 3/3 Monastery Mentor.
And a 2/2 monk.
Yep.
And a 1/1 monk. So.
So we're going to pull
Hero Dominaria
for you. It's got a lot of text on it. This guy's a novel.
This guy is a novel. And up goes the elevator, says Nick Cowden. I'm going to draw a card, and I'm going to have counterspell magic available. I'm going to probably attack you.
Colonnade.
Attack you for 2.
Yep. In comes the 2/2 prowess knight or monk token. Let's see what happens here.
Go to block, says Nick Cowden. Dane says no, thank you. Take 2, fall down to 16.
Yep. So Dane really wants to keep his creatures on board. He's got a Soul Herder, and so, you know, end of turn, he could blink one of his guys, get some value.
Breeding Pool tapped in there for Dane. Had a hard time developing his board this game a lot. Knight of Autumn stalled him a little bit. But if you just look at the boards right now,
Nick can very easily get out of hand. But this is what we saw in game 1.
Yep. Soul Herder being in this game and being active is going to be a huge problem for Nick if he doesn't quickly deal with it. But with the Fairy drawing so many cards, it's going to be pretty difficult for Dane to. I guess they're even, right? Yeah. Nick's drawing a card every turn, Dane's drawing a card every turn.
Yep.
The difference is Monastery Mentor.
Yeah, both players are reaching a point where their engines are online. You know, they're getting a lot of velocity out of them. See if they can wrap this game up before the round ends. All right, so we see Nick untap, draw a card, tick up to Fairy, draw another card. Untap 2 lands on end step.
Opt, make a guy.
Every time.
Monastery Mentor. Can you tell me a better duo?
I know, man.
He now has 2 2/2s, a 3/3, and a 1/1 with prowess. Pass, make a guy.
Man, each one of these non-creature spells, you can hear it from your homes, ladies and gentlemen. Hear that sound outside. It is the sound of a non-creature spell hitting the stack. These Monastery Mentors temporarily learning something, and the spell's resolving.
And so we've got 2 spells cast this turn. So that means that we have 4/4, 2 3/3s, and 2 1/1s. It looks like another spell's being lined up here from Nick Cowden. Snapcaster Mage. I bet she's targeting a Path to Exile. And yep, it's hot in here already, and I'm just getting hotter watching Nick Cowden do all this.
Yep. So we're gonna see a lot happen. This is the strength of Monastery Mentor, ladies and gentlemen. Nick out of Pokemon cards and moving into the sleeve stash.
He didn't catch enough to make all of these mentors.
No.
And
Nick forgot to catch them all.
Yeah, so we have 3 spells, so we should be attacking for 5, and then 2 4/4s. Disgusting.
Yep.
So 13 right now. We'll see what if blocks at all happen. We have a collected company coming in. It looks like
See if that no.
Mana Leak trigger prowess trigger my Monastery Mentor. Sir, do you have a force negation?
Oh,
nope,
boy.
I don't. So 4 spells. So
Oh my word! So those are 2 5/5s
8
and a
7/7. Right? No, you're right. 6 5/5. So I don't know if any blocks happen. Doesn't look like it. So that can't be right, or else.
Yeah, something must have blocked here.
Something must have blocked, or we missed something because otherwise Dane would be dead. But
yeah, assuming he blocked the Monastery Mentor, Dane would be down to 6.
Dane is doing the look how many lands I drew count here, or maybe he's counting that. Maybe he's got multiple plays he wants to make, but
we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I don't know what outs that Dane particularly has other than just going wide and be able to stall again. But even then, you still have a bunch of 1/1s, and Nick still has an instep, and he still has a Celestial Colony.
Yep, still has mana up.
Thragtusk
is going to bring him up to the hypothetical 11. Also a good blocker. You know, it's going to leave something on its way out. Deputy of Detention. Oh,
he's going to send Monastery Mentor to jail.
No, target a monk token.
Oh, he's going to send all the monks to jail.
Yep.
Yeah, well.
Monks have done a lot of crimes.
Yep. There they go. Bye-bye.
Crime monks.
Crime monks.
All right, so Nick now either has to rebuild his board, which, you know, won't be hard for that Teferi on the field, or see if he can just push damage through some other way. See this play happen?
+1, target myself to draw. I don't know. Teferi doesn't target, but I'm used to Karn with +1 target you. Yeah, too many clicks. But you can probably hear the judges saying we're getting close to the end of the round for our main room. These guys will have a bit of an extension here. Fetching is Nick Cowden going down to 22.
Oh, all the way down to 22.
Yeah, what a shame. He's not gonna have an infinite life, and that's a shame, you know. Shocking himself, going to 20. Wow, loose.
Loose, yeah. Seeing Dane has a 5/3 on the field. Has 4 hits from that Thragtusk.
Nick looks like he's about to fire up a Celestial Colonnade for 5 mana, and he does. Beat you for 4, probably, says Nick Cowden.
Yep.
Sending him to theoretically 7.
Yep. Yep, it's very end step, untap 2 lands, say go.
We're talking about how great Celestial Colonnade Teferi is.
Yeah. As soon as they printed that card, I'm glad we get a Haymaker Planeswalker like that in Modern. Like, I'm not even being sarcastic. I just love 5 mana, insane value plays.
Do a big thing now.
Right.
The
value. I grew up on Elder Dragon Highlander.
Yep, Eternal Witness is going to get presumably the Collected Company back.
Yeah. Yeah, if Dane can resolve some of these value spells, this could be his path to victory. But, you know,
we have a Teferi that's at 7 that we have to talk about still.
Oh, yeah. Teferi getting closer and closer to emblem range.
And they're really just any 2 spells from Nick on any turn. He got the path back. Well, that's not gonna.
Nick fidgeting with his lands. Could be thinking about a counterspell.
Yeah, just lets it go.
Yep. So Nick says, you know, this isn't the most important thing that could happen. Monastery Mentor isn't the plan right now. I think Nick's plan is just going to be get in for 4 with Celestial Colonnade, find a bolt, kill Dane.
Where are these creatures going? That's going to be, yep, that has Summoning Sickness, sir. Go to blocks. Don't know if Thragtusk is attacking Nick or Teferi. Teferi, I think, is the only reasonable option. Yep. Going to go all the way down to 2. So we're not going to get the emblem in this game.
Right.
But
the plan of Bolt you, Colonnade you, still on the table.
Pretty alive and well here. 3 mana, another 3 mana play. Ewit, number 2. It's pretty good.
That is going to get a card.
Intentionally hiding it from us, it seems like.
Felix Yu. Could see the Colonnade here. If that is the case, then this is game over for these gentlemen.
4 to 25, 3 now. This is the life totals here. Untapping is Nick Cowden.
All right, let's see what happens here. Is this the end of the game?
He knows his opponent probably has the path card off Teferi.
Yep.
Nick has to have a way to play around path.
Yes.
Attack you. Play a land attack you.
Be it.
I'm going to try to cast my
Yeah.
Path to Exile. Nick must know about it or have a solution.
He's going to Ephemerate.
Ephemerate.
Interesting.
He's going to try to Ephemerate Slactus. Yeah, Logic not you for however much mana you have.
Yeah, so Dane, if he's not able to gain 5 life here, this may just be the end of the road for him.
Force of Negation has to be an out for Dane.
Yep. All right, that's
and
it.
the handshake.
That is the
Nick
game.
Cowden coming back 2-1 there.
Yeah, we saw some good Magic there. We got to see Stoneforge in action. It's going to be the story of the weekend. I'm really a fan of the Jeskai build of this deck.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you're going to play Stoneforge, I recommend you have some really good disruption with it.
Right. Speaking of that game in particular, it seems like it kind of went south when you passed the Stoneforge after it can activate.
Right, yeah.
Got kind of really far behind there. Nick Cowden takes that match down 2-1. We, I believe, are going to throw it to a quick break here in Columbus, Ohio for Comic Town's Mythic Invitational Championship Qualifier Tournament.
Yep, Mythic Championship Qualifier 6, Richmond.
We'll be right back.